Curious about what Waikiki looks like right now? As part of our Waikiki Now series, we're showing you what Waikiki looks like right now. Aloha, I'm Mariam, and this is Yes to Hawaii. We make Hawaii videos, take the guesswork out of planning your trip.
Good morning, guys. It is Sunday, March the 30th at about 7:30 a.m. and in today's Waikiki Now video, we're going to take a walk over, starting at the Hilton Village, right by the Hilton Saltwater Lagoon, cutting across over here, walking right by the water, and then heading down towards Kalakaua Avenue. Again, it's Sunday, March the 30th at about 7:30 a.m. Let's get into it.
And it is that time again. We are starting right here at one of my favorite spots to start walking, the Hilton Hawaiian Village. I like starting at the Hilton Hawaiian Village because it's the edge of Waikiki, and if you followed our last Waikiki Now video, you'll know I typically will start in this area. However, not to worry. After this video coming up next, I also have another updated video for Kalakaua Avenue, which I also filmed today. This video is a bit of a longer one, about 20 or so minutes, and I'm going to try to pan the camera a little bit more to show you more of the area. This is part of the Waikiki Historic Trail. This shows a little bit of the history of the area. If you're out walking around in the morning, definitely make sure to check those out. It is about 7:25 in the morning, and for those of you who are visiting this time of year, keep in mind, again, it is 7:30 in the morning, and what I mean by that is it's going to be pretty empty throughout our walk, especially on the beach area, so don't be surprised if you go later in the afternoon and it is packed, crazy crowded. If you haven't already grabbed this travel planner that I made, definitely check out the link in the description box below. It is completely free and it's a great way to help plan your vacation. I've also left a few other links to help with your Hawaii travel planning. Of course, you can use this exact same travel planning video for other trips, of course, but this is going to be Hawaii focused because that is what the planner is for. There it is. Oh my goodness, if you've seen some of our other videos, those ducks, especially in the Hilton Hawaiian Village, seem to make a cameo appearance, so I had to stop and see what is up. This area to my right hand side, which we just passed, there is a Starbucks. We're walking through, again, the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Not very windy at all. It is the end of March. There's so many different shops and dining areas within the Hilton Hawaiian Village. A lot of these shops are closed, of course, right now because, again, it is 7:30 in the morning. I'm zooming in over to the Rainbow Tower. Now, Rainbow Tower is right where the Hilton Hawaiian Village shoots off their weekly fireworks show at 7:45. When it's summer season, it goes a bit later till 8 o'clock. If you're not sure if it's summer season or winter season or whatever season it is, just go at 7:45 to play it safe. Now, the Hilton fireworks show, which is shot off at 7:45, you can see it from the shoreline. You can also see it out on the water if you're on a dinner cruise or sunset sail or whatnot around that time. Here's another really good restaurant over here on my right hand side, and this area over here has a lot of shops and dining as well. Now, for the fireworks show, again, 7:45, you can catch them from the shoreline, but it's very important to remember that the shoreline is not completely straight. It is a little bit curvy, so that means if you're farther towards Diamond Head and you're around the curve where there's some of those larger hotels, you will not be able to see the fireworks show, or if you do see the fireworks show, it's just going to be peeking past the building. So to get the best vantage point, the best view, you want to head over to Rainbow Tower over at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which is where the fireworks show is shot off. Now, if you're walking in this beach area on a Friday night, it will get very crowded very quickly, and they do shut off parts of the beach. They completely blockade it, cordon it off or whatnot for safety as they shoot off the fireworks. On my right hand side over here, there's a couple little restaurants. There is Fresca, which is an Italian restaurant. There's also Lappert's, which is right in front of me, really great for ice cream. And yes, they are open at 7:30 in the morning. It's about to stop in here, but trying to keep focus, going on this walk, keeping it moving. We're gonna walk straight down over here, and then we're gonna cut across, and then you'll see the Hilton Saltwater Lagoon on the left-hand side. If you're traveling with small kids, families, that kind of thing, the Hilton Saltwater Lagoon is a great place for those who maybe are not very comfortable in open water ocean because it is flat like a lake. It is connected to the ocean, however, there's no waves or anything. You'll see it as we get closer. It's connected by an underwater pipe that connects out to the ocean. That's why there's fish in that man-made saltwater lagoon. Over here on the left is the Rainbow Tower that I mentioned, and this area here is the Great Lawn. The Hilton Hawaiian Village also has a luau, which is on the Friday. and they'll typically have it here at the Great Lawn. Other days, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, they typically have it at the Mid-Pacific Conference Center on the rooftop, and you can see it over there on the right-hand side. It varies. If you're here during winter season, this is another great option for the luau, because if it does end up raining, they'll often move the luau inside. Now, why is that important? Other luaus, if it's raining at the luau, oftentimes they may completely cancel, and if you're leaving the next day, you're not going to be able to do the luau. So again, everything's seasonal, keep that in mind. March, April is one of my two favorite months because it's not quite as hot and humid as it is during our summer season, which is June, July, and August. It's still pretty breezy, it's still good weather, not as rainy as our winter season, which is typically December, January, and February. I'm just panning up the camera a little bit here so you can see the beautiful blue sky this morning. It is such a beautiful morning. Now for this walk, we're not going to walk all the way around the Hilton Saltwater Lagoon because your girl is tired, and we're going to cut this walk because we've got a lot of walking to do. On my right hand side is the Hilton Saltwater Lagoon. Normally I would cut right and I would go all the way around that, which by the way is 0.3 miles if you were to do a complete loop. But today instead we're just going to do a little cut through right over here. Saltwater Lagoon, just there. You'll often see people in this area as well for the fireworks show. Now this area that I'm pointing out here on the beach is typically going to be sectioned off or closed off for the fireworks show, which is where they'll shoot them on Friday evenings. This view, so nice. Now at the time of this filming, it is the very end of March. There is fog, which if you're not sure what that is, fog is short for volcanic fog. Not too much in this area, but as you can see, visibility isn't necessarily the best, and I have some friends who are up at Tantalus. They have homes up there, and it is a little bit dusty as you get farther up. Hopefully that'll clear out, so if you are here during a time where there is fog and you are prone to allergies or you have asthma, maybe not the best thing for you. I'm gonna go ahead and walk over to the beach. I was reading this article online that said that one of the things that people are typically disconnected from is just being barefoot whenever they're walking. They're typically wearing shoes, and feeling the sand in between my toes in the morning is one of my absolute favorite things. So we're gonna stroll along the beach over here. As you can see, it's pretty empty in the morning. Again, about 7:30 in the morning, lots of open space. I like to film around this time, one, because it's a lot less hot than it is later on in the day, but also just so you can see the expansiveness of how wide the beach is without tons and tons of people. So if you are an early riser and you want to get a good spot at the beach in the morning, is the time to go. Over here behind us in front of us on the right hand side is the Port Hilton Pier. They also have catamaran rides over there, and then I'm zooming in to show you Diamond Head, which is right there in that corner. This is one of my favorite walks. Absolutely love this. So beautiful in the morning. Palm trees, sand. It's just a nice morning walk. I absolutely love it. I've got some music playing. You can't hear it because I've got my headphones on as I'm walking through here. But just to show you a little bit, over there is one of the Hilton's many swimming pools. There's also a little restaurant over there if you want to grab a quick bite to eat. Over here on the left, coming up here on the turquoise umbrella, is the Atlantis Submarines kiosk. There is my arch nemesis, which seems to make a cameo appearance in every video. And then over here with the orange umbrellas is Tropics, one of my favorite restaurants. Also has really great burgers, salads, good bites to eat, cocktails, mocktails, all that. This map kind of shows you where we started and where we are right now on our specific walk. We started over there, and then we're cutting across to where the little red circle and star is. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Now, for those of you who are planning to come to Hawaii in the next few months to visit, especially for summer season, I would highly recommend you start your research now. Summer season, as in June, July, and August, it gets very, very busy in terms of activities, tours, dinner, restaurants, all that kind of thing, especially if you're a large group. So if you're a family of, say, 6, 8, 10 people and you want to do specific tours, activities, or go to these must go to restaurants during the beautiful sunset time, for example, you want to make sure to plan ahead and start looking at those tours and activities, checking out those restaurants, making any reservations. Again, you don't have to have every single thing scheduled, and I never recommend scheduling every single thing. Oh, that's the catamaran that I was mentioning earlier. But if there are specific places you want to go to that are on your must-do list, you need to definitely at least research, check out their their reservations, not appointments. Over here, there's also church on the beach, just here on the right-hand side, and that's on Sundays. We're gonna walk over here, over there to my right-hand side as well. There's the volleyball courts that are already set up. In the afternoons, that's actually super packed, but it's still pretty early in the morning. And over there on the right-hand side, you can see the Hilton Pier. We're gonna keep walking. Again, look how wide this beach is over here. If you're looking for a nice wide stretch of beach, this would be the place to go to. On my left-hand side is the Halikoa Hotel. And then those are those volleyball courts that I mentioned earlier. So as I was saying, it's the end of March right now. June, July, August is the busiest summer season. If you're a large group or a large family, definitely start your research early. Look to see what you want to do. You can also start looking at any block parties, festivals, events that are coming up during the time that you're here on island. Now, I'm on the island of Oahu. This is Waikiki, and this is the city of Honolulu. If you're coming to this area, you'll be flying into the airport, Honolulu, or airport code HNL. The main islands that people will typically visit would be Oahu, Maui, Big Island, and Kauai. There's only one real boat that will go between the islands at this stage, and that is the Pride of America Norwegian Cruise Line cruise ship. I still have some subscribers to this day ask about the super ferry because some of the websites, blogs, etc. say that there's a super ferry that connects the islands. Yes, there was back in the day, and that ended in 2009. Something about interfering with whale migration patterns or whatnot. Now the way to get between the islands is flights, short flights, 45 minutes, pretty quick, but again, you're going through the same TSA lines that you would as though you're flying to the mainland or internationally, for example. So if you're doing an island hop, you want to make sure that you still follow the same rules, get to the airport in time, early, make sure that you have your liquids, the 311 rule, and so forth. If you're not carrying checked luggage, I would say that it's not too long of a wait. However, for summer season, definitely make sure that you give yourself more time than necessary, especially again if you're a larger group or if you don't have TSA pre-check. Now if you have TSA pre-check, that does change it for you. The line for TSA pre-check is the line that I would typically go through, and it's way quicker, way faster. However, if you don't, you definitely want to make sure to try to get TSA pre-check if you can, or give yourself a little bit extra time at the airport. Whenever I've gone in our island or even flying to the mainland or internationally, the number one thing, the two main lines that I'll notice is either the lines at the airline check-in area where you drop your bags. I've seen people, maybe 40, 50 people in line, all with 1, 2, 3 bags to check in, and that takes quite a bit of time. If you're rolling up to the airport, not giving yourself ample time, you have to check luggage, plus you don't have TSA pre-check, you should definitely make sure to get to the airport with plenty of time. Early is always best. Now the airport of course has some smaller restaurants, quick bites to eat. You can always go to the airport early and then grab a bite to eat at the restaurants. At least you're where you should be. You're checked into your flight, your luggage is checked in, you're not worried or rushing. However, for me personally, I typically will only do a carry-on, and I also have TSA pre-check, so I definitely get to the airport a bit later. But this upcoming trip, I've got a trip planned in the next month or so that is an international trip. So if you are following this channel and you've made it this far in the video, I have a series coming up which I'll be filming that will show you what it looks like to go through Honolulu Airport if you're traveling internationally. And I'll be starting here in Honolulu, I'll be going through Japan, and I'll be able to show you guys the airport lounge. I'll show you a little bit of the airport, Now that video might be important to you if you're planning on getting to the airport a bit earlier, not necessarily flying internationally, but just getting to the airport earlier so you know what dining options are, what it looks like on the inside. Especially if you're traveling with kids, you want to know what kind of things you can eat, what the lines look like, just kind of get a general gauge for everything. Now all that information, I'll also leave a link in the description box to the Honolulu airport if you want to browse that ahead of time. But me personally, I love watching those kind of videos, especially of the airports, what there is to do, what there is to eat, just in case you have a layover or if you're just curious to see what you can expect when you get to the airport. Those are probably my favorite travel videos, not just the airports, but just kind of getting a feel for where I'm going to. Typically, if I'm going on a vacation, I am limited on time. I don't want to waste any of my time when I'm on the vacation looking for things, doing my research on the vacation. I would way much rather do all that ahead of time when I'm at home. And one, it builds excitement for the trip itself. Two, you have all that research ahead of time. I'm not saying you have to make all the decisions on what to do, what to book, where to eat ahead of time, but at least you have those options versus kind of scrambling once you arrive and not really necessarily enjoying the time that you have exploring, checking out the places that you definitely want to check off your bucket list and things like that. This is, oh, I love this walk. Oh, it's my absolute favorite. Oh my goodness. I need to get a bit more variety in these Waikiki now walks, but I've gotten such good feedback from you guys that you love these early morning walks just to hear a bit of the narration, see what the weather looks like, see what the water looks like. I've even had a few people ask about the water, as in some of the places they've been to, not in Hawaii, but other places, there's lots of seaweed in the water. As you can see, this is pretty much what it looks like, the entire Waikiki area. Very nice, clear water, all swimmable. And the water is pretty temperate year round. You don't really need wetsuits. Swimsuits are perfectly fine. Now, compared to the area we just were at, you see how narrow this beach is, and the water creeps up throughout the day. So this would not be a good place to relax and suntan. As you can see, the water creeps up all the way to the edge over there, and later in the day, especially for high tide, all this area is going to be completely covered with water. Better places to go for the beach is going to be back where we were just at or farther down past the main hotel that's right in front of us. This is one of the areas if you did want to go grab a cocktail or a mocktail and grab a bite to eat overlooking the water. This is Koa Oasis. This is part of the Koa Hotel, which we passed earlier in the video. It opens at 12 and it runs till 6 o'clock. Just showing you a bit of the menu to show you some options on what you can get while you're here. Very nice, casual little beach bar area, again, right here by the water. Oh, the ocean is so blue. Oh my goodness. You might not be able to hear it from here because I'm obviously talking over it, but the sound of the water walking this walk is one of my absolute favorites. Now on my left-hand side are the pickleball courts. It's early, they are ready to play. And then we're gonna keep walking straight ahead. Directly in front of me right there is Diamond Head, and then that little area that goes out on the right-hand side. Some people will go out there for photos, but be cognizant if it's high tide, you could get splashed, especially if you're going through that area. This part too, again, see how the water is creeping up very close to that edge of the sidewalk. Diamond Head just right over there. Now, if you're planning on going to Diamond Head during your stay, make sure to make a reservation. Now, if you were here back in the day, you could just pay $1 and walk right in, but now to limit the number of people that are over at the hike, a reservation is required. It's easy to make. You make it online, and it's $5. Make sure you do that, especially if you want to get an early morning time slot. One of the most coveted, if you will, time slots to go to is going to be Saturday morning. And the reason for that is because across the street from Diamond Head is the Kapolei Community College Farmers Market, which is on Saturday morning. I often tell people, especially if I'm planning their vacation on my one-on-one vacation planning calls, that's probably one of the best combos you can do. So in the morning, try to get an early morning time slot, say 7 o'clock or so, go do the Diamond Head hike, and then just cross the street and grab a bite to eat at the Kapolei Community College Farmers Market. It's open till around 10:30 or 11. You can grab a quick bite to eat. You can also grab some souvenirs as well. And these are going to be made by local artists. Sometimes they'll have paintings, sometimes they'll have arts and crafts, sometimes they'll have like Manoa honey, for example. It just depends. And there's also, of course, fresh produce, but it's a nice free place you can go and check out and walk around and also grab a bite to eat after your hike. Now this is such a beautiful view. I love this. The water is so nice this morning. Oh my goodness. Now, normally I don't go this far when I'm walking just because of the mic that I'll normally have. And with high tide, this water is normally going to be splashing, but not this morning. I was very well prepared. I double checked. Look at that. It's so beautiful. The water is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got some people who are out there surfing. And I'm ducking over here just because somebody was taking a photo as I was walking by. Just in front of us over here is the Outrigger Reef Hotel on the right-hand side, Outrigger Reef Waikiki Beach Resort. And then over on the far corner, you'll see the Sheraton Waikiki as well. This is an absolutely gorgeous walk. Would definitely recommend it if you're in the Waikiki area and you're close to this area. Grab yourself a coffee or a tea and just make this morning stroll really, really gorgeous. In front of us on the left-hand side, there's public restrooms. And then over on the right-hand side, you can also rent beach chairs and umbrellas throughout the day. They're setting them up right now. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. Thank you so much, guys, for coming along with me on this walk for Waikiki Now.
And that finishes up our Waikiki Now walk for this morning. It is 7:50 in the morning. I'll leave a link in the description box below for part 2, and we're gonna head on for the rest of our Waikiki Now walk for March.
Now, if you want to see more, follow for the next video.
On this one-page planner, you have everything that you need where you can jot down your details for your hotel, rental car, tours and activities, things that you want to do, and a general itinerary. You can also head to yes2hawaii.com for even more Hawaii content. Places to eat, where to stay, and things to do. And if you'd like some done-for-you itineraries, check out the links in the description box below for some itineraries I've made just for you guys.